This is a very topsy-turvy time in
Yes,
the
sir.
world
Mm-hmm.
since things began to come unglued in 1968 or so. Uh, America is essentially alone, I think, alone on the world stage against the worst chaos, whether the chaos is militant Islam or rising aggressive secularist politics. America still seems, as you say, to ride on that regnant, faith-based is a hackneyed way to say it, but
Sure, yeah.
the fact that the founding fathers and the first couple of presidents kept emphasizing this is not going to work without a moral and religious people.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't built by and for ACLU types.
Sure.
So I think one guy I've been influenced quite a bit is Robert Riley, who has a new book called America on Trial. So my interview with him is called America, Screwed or Salvageable? And he's heavily comes down on the latter.
Sure.
And that comes from familiarity with their founding documents.
Mm-hmm.
If Catholics are supposed to be, as we are called to read Scripture,
Yep.
our founding documents, and the Magisterium, of course, then people who live here and benefit from the country should get to know the DNA docs that started the whole thing.
Well, let me ask you this.
And they anticipate
Yeah.
this worldview that's either deist or Christian.
Right, yeah, I was going to ask you kind of along those lines. When I read the founding documents, one of the things that troubles me is that what is America about? America is about shirking off an authority that we don't like. And that's good, right? Because the authority is deemed unjust, and so it loses its kind of claim to authority.
Yeah.
Right? At least this is what's happening, for the founders. But then the founders need to ground their new project in authority, in the sense that you can't simply say, we're going to do this new project because we're stronger and better than the other project and we can win a war. It's just might makes right stuff. So what do? Well, they turn to God and they say, what is our justification for this new project? Well, it's the rights granted to us by God.
Mm-hmm.
The problem, though, is that in doing this, they ground it not in the God of Jesus Christ, but in, as the Declaration has it, nature's God. And in the kind of Enlightenment philosophy that they were working with, nature's God was the kind of God that could be known in and through different sort of denominations and religions. It didn't have any kind of attachment to a real historical revelation of who God was, right? And so you get, to my mind, in reading those documents, you have something that's really great, but then also something that tells a story of the decline that we see in America at the same time. Like, you kind of see both elements. Like, oh wow, this is why, Chesterton said America is a nation with the soul of a church, and you can kind of see, yeah, like, we're founded on God. That's amazing. But at the same time, you're like, but the theology, the notion of God, was a God that wasn't tied to historical revelation of Jesus Christ. And so that was its attempt at welcoming all religions. They're detaching from the previous authorities of, like, the Catholic Church and such. And so in that sense, you can see why, even as America still has this, like, passionate and kind of underlying religious quality to it, it's also extremely liberal in the sense of saying, whatever religion you are, whatever denomination, we can all make it fit under nature's God.
Right.